What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about how to enter the second Dark Aether Rift and unlock 3 new schematics in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, there's absolutely a ton of brand new content going up over on dkdynamite.com for those that want, in the form of articles, additional coverage of multiplayer, Warzone, and Zombies. It was a very busy day with the official launch of Season 2 Reloaded. Plenty of articles, including ones about the patch notes. We got guides, bundle overviews. All of those did get updated over the last couple of hours as I was streaming and working on some other videos as well. Want to thank everybody out there for the immense support on the big stream we did just a couple of hours ago. We managed to get everything done that I really wanted to, despite some hiccups along the way. I'm still really happy of all the content we did manage to film. So first, certainly foremost, a brand new Act 4 mission has gone live here inside of MW3. It's just one new mission, and by completing it, you get a pretty cool looking monkey bomb charm. When you hop into a match of Urzikstan, you will see the brand new Act 4 mission highlighted on your attack map right there, as you can see. So once you guys have a decked out inventory and you feel prepared to enter this mission, go up to that brand new rift and make sure your team votes yes so that you can all spawn in together. Once you're in this Act 4 mission, here's where things get interesting. So unlike Season 1's Dark Aether Rift, the artifacts you have to collect for today's quest are within the Act 4 mission, not Urzikstan. In Season 1, you had to complete the Act 4 mission, then go back to Urzikstan in a separate game to collect some artifacts using hints that you got to see in the Act mission, but this time it's a bit different. The artifacts themselves are within this Act 4 experience. Right when you spawn in, there'll be a ship right next to you. What you want to do is get to the top of this ship, either by doing some parkour, which is right next to the ship, or if you have a Scorcher, that'll make things so much easier. So please bring in Scorchers as often as you can when experiencing a brand new Dark Aether Rift. So right when you're on the ship, you'll see a seal, just like we also saw in Season 1, and go up to the seal. You want to interact with it, and be careful not to grab this insta-kill until some of the zombies actually spawn in. What you want to do is melee all the zombies within this circle, and you can obviously use the insta-kill to make it that much easier. So just go ahead and kill all the zombies that spawn near you, and before the insta-kill even runs out, you'll probably collect enough souls to go ahead and complete the seal. Once you do that, it'll drop MMA gloves that are obviously unattuned and purple rarity. That's very important to note. So that's the first seal. The second seal is located just outside the soccer stadium. What you want to do is go up to it, activate it, and you'll see a small circle form around the seal. You want to make sure you get critical shots on all the zombies within the circle. So you have to get headshots on the zombies here for the souls to end up collecting. It's a pretty straightforward seal, but obviously if you guys out there were like me and had a wonder weapon or a crossbow, it'll be a lot harder to get a lot of these seals done in the Act 4 mission. Obviously, we didn't know what we had to do when going into this, so that's why I had the wrong loadout. But if you're running WSP Swarm Akimbo, or if you're running a Haymaker shotgun with slug shots, those are obviously ideal weapons. And again, we have an article on detonated.com showing you the best loadouts to use for MW zombies. Hopefully that is clear. But once you finish this seal, you will get the firing range target. That's another relic here that we're going to need for this Easter egg. And lastly, the third and final seal is located in what I call Transit Remastered, aka the foggiest area towards the bottom right portion of this Dark Aether Rift. It's not a river like you would think. It's just a bunch of fog, which gets pretty crazy. It's honestly a scary portion of the map if you're not prepared with golden armor plates or just 3 armor plates altogether. If you don't have the right perks, this is a scary area to be, so make sure you are prepared. So in the I-8 portion of this area of the map, you'll find the seal. You want to activate it, and what it'll do, it'll spawn in zombies that need to be killed using specific ammo mods. It'll spawn in one of each ammo mod around the seal itself, so you can use those to your advantage to kill the zombies you need. If you see zombies that have fire emitting from them, you gotta use napalm burst. If you see ice emitting from a zombie, you gotta use cryo freeze. If you see a purple aura around some of the zombies, you gotta use dead wire, so on and so forth. So it'll obviously spawn in the AATs that you need around the seal. Just make sure that you don't use one you don't need to, because you only get 1 ammo mod per person. So if, let's say, you use dead wire and you don't even need it yet, you're not gonna be able to get dead wire back. Your other teammate will have to go ahead and equip the ammo mod on his or her weapon by going up to the seal and grabbing that AAT. But I'm warning you guys now in the case you're playing solo and don't have a teammate that can also pick up an ammo mod for you. So once you get all the kills that you need, the mirror will end up spawning in the reward rift for finishing this seal. Now what you want to do, and hopefully you guys have split up your time a little bit if you're playing in co-op, hopefully you've had teammates kind of progressing through the act mission while you were doing these seals, or if you were speedrunning this as a squad, then you should still have enough time to go ahead and finish the act mission, because if you don't, you'll lose everything you just did and you got to restart all over again. So you want to make sure you progress through the rest of the act mission the best that you can. Once you get to the end, and I'm not going to go through the act mission itself since you guys are probably aware of how to do it by now, it's very guided. Once you get to the end of the act mission and you finish everything, in the reward rift will be a golden drum. This is actually an upgraded artifact, unlike the other artifacts you had to grab. The other ones are purple rarity, which means they need to be upgraded, whereas the drum one is already upgraded, so keep that in mind. Now what you want to do is go into a separate game of MWZ and go to Urzikstan, where you're going to upgrade the 3 artifacts that you just grabbed in the Act 4 mission. You obviously have to spawn in with these artifacts, so make sure they're equipped when you spawn into your next game. So first off with the MMA gloves, relatively straightforward. You want to head over to the boxing gym, which makes perfect sense because we got boxing gloves here. You want to go into the ring, offer the boxing gloves to the ring itself. They'll disappear from your inventory, your screen will shake, and you'll see 3 punching bags to the left of the ring, depending on where you're standing. You want to melee each of the punching bags, and they'll all set on fire as you do that. It'll then spawn in one zombie, who you can see is also wearing some boxing gloves, and what you want to do is take out your fist, and you want to punch that zombie to death until he dies. I don't believe you have to do it inside of the ring, but if you want to do it for fun, then so be it. You want to punch that zombie to death, and once you do that, you'll get the upgraded MMA gloves that are going to be golden and will sit in your inventory for as long as you want. Now, the second artifact to upgrade, the mirror. What you want to do is head over to the graveyard, as you can see here on the TAC map, and you want to place the mirror right there on the ground. You're kind of sacrificing it a bit. It'll then spawn in 2 elemental zombies, and it's just like with the seal over in the Dark Ether Rift, where there'll be a certain ammo mod you have to use to kill each of those zombies. Right towards the center of this area, up the stairs, you'll see an option for each ammo mod that you can go ahead and put on your weapons. Again, don't put on an ammo mod you don't need to use just yet, so make sure you kind of, if you have teammates, split up the zombies a little bit, have one person take some of the regular zombies away while you focus on the elemental ones, or just be careful with your blast radius. Don't shoot the wrong zombie with the wrong ammo mod. So obviously if he has fire, use napalm burst. If he has a purple aura around him, use dead wire. Depending on what zombies you get will determine what ammo mods you need to put on. Once you kill the zombies, it'll then spawn the upgraded mirror right there on the ground. Lastly, with the firing range target, my favorite one, you want to go near the Shannon Manor, where you'll see a bunch of firing range targets right here in the area. You want to find this specific target that you can interact with. You'll then see targets you can shoot that are purple, so you just need to shoot each target with 1 bullet, and they'll turn red if you've shot them correctly. And there's even some really weird spawns for some of these targets that are always in the same spot every game, but you'll notice one kind of behind the firing range, one on the other side, as you guys will see. So not all of them are within this little center area where you're standing. Some of them are kind of scattered, so just make sure you shoot all of them. I don't believe it's timed, but if anything bugs out, just walk really far away from whatever you're doing for this quest, and it should reset. If anything ever does break for you guys, let me know down below in the comments. But once you've shot all targets and they're all red, you'll then be greeted by this special zombie that can only be killed using critical damage. You'll get a headshot on this zombie, and he'll then drop the upgraded firing range target, which is now golden. After that, you want to head over to the brand new Rift Gate, which isn't that far from the Season 1 Rift, but you could see a big purple storm or tornado that indicates that is where a Dark Ether gate is. So what you want to do is head over to that new gate. You want to place these upgraded and golden artifacts on each of the pedestals respectively. I'll try to show you on screen where each of them go, and once you do that, it'll spawn in an EMP Mimic that we also got a glimpse of in the Act 4 mission. You want to make sure you go ahead and destroy that Mimic to fully unlock the Rift Gate permanently for you, right? If you were the ones that placed the artifacts down, the Rift Gate is open permanently for you, whereas your teammates will have to place the artifacts on the respective pedestals in a separate match to permanently unlock that Rift Gate for them. But I believe it might let another player place their artifacts on the same pedestals. It should work like that, but yeah, go give that a shot. If it doesn't work, then maybe it's bugged. You have to go ahead and place those artifacts in a separate game, but as long as one person went ahead and placed those correct artifacts down, it'll spawn that Mimic, and then the Rift Gate will allow you to spawn back into that Dark Ether Rift that's in the Alsai Edge shopping center. Now here's what's really interesting. There's almost no point in going into the regular version of this new Dark Ether Rift using a normal sigil. By killing that EMP Mimic, he'll give you a sigil that you can use to go into that new rift, but guess what? When you go into that rift and you complete all the contracts there in Xville, you don't get any of the new schematics. You only get the brand new schematics through doing the Elder version of the brand new Dark Ether Rift, and guess what? You can only get Elder sigils by going into a Dark Ether Rift, whether it's the one from Season 1 or whether it's the new one, and completing contracts in those rifts in which you have a chance of getting an Elder Sigil from the reward rifts. So with that being said, if you guys have backup Elder Sigils that you've been saving for the last couple of months, the good thing is you don't have to even go ahead and do the regular version of this Dark Ether. You can go straight into the Elder version by just walking to the other side of this gate and inputting that Elder Sigil. And once you're in the Elder version of this Dark Ether, you have less time while in here, whereas the zombies are a little bit harder. They're like tier 4 or higher zombie difficulty, I would say. Now once inside, you once again have to find 3 different bunnies, aka Mr. Peaks. One is directly inside the warehouse next to where you spawn, and once you go ahead and grab that, it'll initiate a bounty contract. Typically, it spawns an abomination in that foggy, creepy Transit Remastered area of the map, and the abomination isn't for the faint of heart. If you guys are low on ammunition or anything else, it's going to be a bit tough. Make sure you guys are decked out before going into this, and have good communication. Shoot that abomination when his eyes open up, and give yourselves plenty of space while moving around as best as you can. Upon defeating that abomination, you get a reward rift. Boom, that's done. The second bunny is located on the roof, not too far from left in the warehouse, you'll see Mr. Peaks just chilling right there, as you guys can see, and this Mr. Peaks will give you an Outlast contract. So the contracts are just about the same as the ones from the first Dark Ether Rift, except instead of escort one, you're going to be getting a reactor contract, which we'll get to in a second. But this Outlast is honestly pretty simple. I mean, with the more players, the better, obviously, but if you guys just kind of sit around with Scorchers and just blast at the front door, zombies will really never get inside. And if you have one player kind of shooting them, the other players kind of sit back and watch his back, or throw ether blades, throw decoys. This isn't that hard of an Outlast at all, but obviously on solo, or if you're playing with people that don't have the best loot, this could get pretty tough. It's kind of a tight space, but again, if you guys are decked out with golden armor plates, ether blades, wonder weapons, tier 3 weapons, I mean, this is going to be an absolute breeze. So lastly, the third bunny's on top of a mall, which will then begin the reactor contract. These are all pretty easy to spot, and again, we'll have even more clarity over on detonated.com for those that want a visual guide and article instead of watching videos, but I did show you where all the rabbits do end up spawning. So once you begin this reactor contract, it's just like a typical reactor one where you got to go up and interact with all of them so that you can go ahead and complete the contract. Obviously, you want to throw decoys or have a teammate watch your back while you're in that animation, because it may take a while and you can get absolutely insta-downed when in that animation with the cell phone. So be very careful going ahead and doing these reactors. But once all three have been interacted with and the rockets are all set off, that will be the end of this third contract, and a reward rift will end up spawning. So overall, these are all the contracts you can do in the brand new Dark Ether Rift. By doing each contract in the Elder version of this rift, there is a chance you can get one of the brand new schematics. Obviously, one is for the Mags of Holding stock option upgrade. The other one is a VR11 weapon case. One of them is the VR11 plans. And lastly, there's also the plans for the Blood Burner key. So you can either get acquisitions and high rarity loot from the reward rifts, or you can get the actual plans to unlock the new schematics as a part of Season 2 Reloaded. There's a chance you can get all 3 new ones in one game, but it's all up to RNG, of course. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on how to enter the brand new Dark Ether Rift that just got added in? How are you feeling about the 3 new schematics and everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.